If you love $9 Monday and $2 Tuesday, you're really going to appreciate our new Throwback Thursday when all daily packages are slashed in half. Yes, you heard right. At both WagerTalk.com and SportsMemo.com, all Thursday daily packages are now 50% off. This means that a 4% package will be only $12.50. A 5% top-rated play, normally priced at $35, will be only $17.50. And the hottest sales item of the day, get a full day of access from the handicappers of your choice. That's one day of every applicable play they release, including any 5% best bets, normally priced at $39, for only $19.50. The best part is you can come back every Thursday to take advantage of this limited time 50% off spring off.
Hey guys, welcome in and a happy Friday to you here as we get ready to say goodbye, March, and welcome in April 2023. And we're getting that much closer, of course, to the NBA playoffs. But we still have, well, a few more regular season games to get out of the way here. Loaded card tonight in the association. We're going to try to make heads or tails of three of the more popular games on the card tonight. We're going to do it, of course, with three of the more profitable and popular handicappers at WagerTalk.com as we welcome in on this Friday the prop god Andy Lang in the house. As is R1L Steve Merrill. He's also here to do Rob Vino's math for him, who is in a encore opportunity in the chair here. College hoops, just a little while ago we talked, and now it is time to move on to the association. And Andy, I know loaded card here tonight in the association. Some big matchups here with a little juice going on here. I know you got to have something in there, but I'm sure it's either darts. I know Friday's a big darts day. I know there's got to be some women's college basketball, if I'm not mistaken, that you've been dominating in. Mix in, I don't know, a little MMA somewhere along the line here. Bellator, maybe? Oh, lacrosse. And lacrosse. How did I forget lacrosse? Yes. Also big lacrosse weekend. So tell us what's going on over at Wager Talk, man.
Quite a bit. This officially starts my busy weekend and next week, along with a 5% women's play. And Joe, you experienced betting on women's college basketball. Profitable, isn't it? That was fun.
Yep.
So, yeah, we got women's college basketball at a 5% play up. We got 4% play up for Bellator and PFL. We have a 5% soccer play that goes off on Saturday. Huge Formula One race that we have plays up for. And then next week is the Masters. So one of my favorite weeks and one of my busiest weeks of the year. So starting today for the next 10, 11 days is very, very busy. We're having a great year, 13 units in 2023. So very, very happy with everything. And the 5% play for women's college basketball is up at WagerTalk.com. And we're just going to put all of our plays today attached to it. So NBA, NHL, anything that we have today, you'll get that. And Joe, silly you said darts. Darts was this morning. We went 2-1.
Oh, that's right. That's right. I'm sorry. That was early. Can't believe I missed that. It's like KBO. I got to remember all of that stuff happens in the morning and overnight. But bottom line is plenty of opportunities here over at Andy's page. If you head on over there to WagerTalk.com, while you're there, head over to Merrill's page, too. No doubt he is locked, loaded, Merrill, whether it be NBA. I'm thinking a little MLB in store this weekend for you, as well as college hoops. So what's going on, man?
Yeah, busy weekend. In fact, we covered 6 different sports on Wager Talk today in 45 minutes. Andy Lang definitely played a role in that with the different sports he covers. So go back, check the replay there. Also, while you're here on Wager Talk TV, I've got my Final Four preview video. I'm just a bit outside for baseball as well. The baseball video is a season preview with the new rules, play on teams for the season. So not too late to check that out. And then my Final Four video went up today as well for deep dive analysis of both NCAA Final Four matchups. But don't forget about the NBA, number 1 ranked in 2023 at WagerTalk, and I've got a strong steamroller best bet. Not one of the games we're covering tonight on the show, so go check that out right now on my page, Steve Merrill, WagerTalk.com.
All right, good stuff there, Merrill and Mr. Vino. Fresh off those Final Four discussions here, moving right along. You had mentioned on the college basketball show that the NBA had piqued your interest here tonight. What do we got up at WagerTalk.com?
Yeah, a couple of plays up now, Joe. One side, one player prop up and available right now. As we continue to get information, it looks like the Denver Nuggets have, taken half the team from the shoot around back to their hotel room. So we won't see a lot of Nuggets tonight in that game. But a couple of plays up and available right now, WagerTalk.com. And also, I hinted towards it on that college show, XFL, Friday night XFL. Who says Andy Lang is the only guy that can go outside the zone and come up with a play on a different sport? We're in the XFL tonight, Joe. 3% up and loaded at WagerTalk.com.
Love it. So we got a little something for everyone. Shout out to Sean in the chat room hanging out with us on this Friday as, of course, we're trying to get through this regular season and get us to the playoffs. And that is, of course, where the contrarian gods love it there. Playoff time in the association. But they got to play tonight. They honed in on, and it's going to be with, how about them Knicks here tonight? Getting 3.5 on the road, taking on the Cleveland Cavaliers here. And we are seeing, no Julius Randle, right? So there is some question marks as far as, will they even get him back for the playoffs at this particular point? They said at least 2 weeks with that sprained ankle, but they're going to have to make do without him here tonight, taking on Cleveland, who once again, no Jared Allen, I believe, still doubtful in this one. What do we do with this here? The New York Knicks, do they have enough depth? Andy, do you trust the Knicks to go on the road here and handle business against this Cavs team, or is there somebody we should be honing in on in the prop market?
Yeah, difficult game to handicap. The plus 3.5 points kind of tells me the books don't really know what to do with it. So, contrarian gods. You got to roll with the contrarian gods on something like this. Player props is a little bit difficult too. If Jared Allen is out, of course, you got to look at Evan Mobley maybe over his rebounds. But I just have to keep looking at Quentin Grimes, who has just been putting up big stats recently, and the books don't seem to totally believe it, but I'll be a sucker. I'll bite. So they got his points at 12.5. This guy scored 23, 14, 25, and 22 the last 4 games. He's played 36, 38, and 38 minutes the last 3. He's had 12 shot attempts or more in the last 4 games. 3 of those games he shot over 55%. Which is pretty incredible. He's making his 3-pointers. Nothing really to much on the free throws, but I don't know. A guy that's going to be getting that many shots. This guy's hit 5, 4, 5, and 6 3-pointers in the last 4 games. So if he does anything even remotely close to that, he's going to fly over this point total. So this time of year, you can have really good reads on some players, and a lot of times with some of these games, I really don't want anything to do with. So I can't say this is a big play, but it's one of those where if I don't play it and he goes for 20 points, I'm going to kind of feel like a schmuck. So Quentin Grimes over his points is absolutely worth a sprinkle tonight.
Good stuff there, Andy. It's an intriguing matchup here, Merrill. I mean, no Julius Randle for the Knicks, but we have said, hey, they got some depth on this team. I would imagine Brunson's a go here tonight for him. So somebody's going to have to pick up the slack for him. Do you think they've got enough to be able to cover this 3.5?
Yeah, I think Brunson's one of the more underrated players in the league. Just lightning fast point guard. He really controls that offense. And, Randall disappeared, in my opinion, in the playoffs the last couple of seasons. So I think Brunson's the key. So they're definitely a live dog here still. And the East is really interesting right now. They're 4 games behind Cleveland for the 4-5 spot, so they're not going to really move up any higher. And they're 2.5 ahead of the Nets, who will most likely continue to fall because that's not the same Brooklyn team from earlier this season. and they're 4 ahead of the Heat. So basically 4 behind the Cavs, 4 ahead of the Heat, who I think are the most legitimate team that might catch up to the Nets. So New York does not have much to play for, which does kind of concern me a bit just going forward here over the next couple of weeks, the end of the season here. As far as head-to-head matchup, these teams have played 3 times this year. New York's gotten the last 2, so it is a double revenge spot for Cleveland. So I'm in no hurry to get in front of the contrarian gods in this one. But I also think Cleveland's probably the safer play. I'm just not sure how much New York really has to play for here down the stretch.
So it's intriguing, Vino, because I'm seeing a whole lot of tickets on Cleveland, but I'm not seeing a whole lot of movement here with this 3.5. It's been kind of rock solid. So it looks like the public thinks it's short, and Cleveland might be the side to go. Are you with the contrarian gods, thinking the Knicks might have a little something to say about it here tonight?
Well, it makes me happy that I've tracked the contrarian gods for the last couple of days here on the show, not being on the show every day. And they stunk on Tuesday, they stunk on Wednesday, and they took the day off with a 2-day schedule yesterday. So I'm glad for them. They're on a roll here of losing. So let's make it 3 in a row for them. I'm not going to side with them, Joe. Come on, the Knicks. The line is probably at 3.5 because Jared Allen doesn't go, right? So it kind of neutralizes itself. No Randall on one side, no Jared Allen on the other side. But Cleveland at home has been a juggernaut, right? 30-8 at home this year against the spread, 25-13. This is a real short price here. It kind of turns into a game of guards for the most part. Donovan Mitchell, Darius Garland, Karis LeVert against what the Knicks have, Jalen Brunson, and as Andy said, Quentin Grimes playing well. And let's not forget Emmanuel Quickley has lit it up on offense as of late. So it surprised me a little bit that the number went down where the total is concerned because Jared Allen's rim protection is not available here. But I think Cleveland's probably the right side in this price range. Again, going back to what Steve said about standings. A little bit, Cleveland needs to make sure that they have that home floor clinched for a playoff spot, get into those top 4 spots. So I like them here. I like them at home. They've been good cashing tickets all season long. I think their guards probably can outscore the Knicks guards. Knicks defense has not been great as of late. And as of late, I'll say this entire month of March, really, Tom Thibodeau having a little trouble with his team defensively. Without Randall, it could cause a little bit of, confusion amongst who gets the ball, who doesn't get the ball. I mean, they run so much for him that without him, it could be a little bit different offensively. Give me Cleveland, Joe. And I would also agree with Andy that where props are concerned, you'd have to look at Evan Mobley here in some way, shape, or form. If you just look at the difference between when Jared Allen is in the lineup and when he's not in the lineup, all 3 of Mobley's PRA categories go up anywhere from 1 to 2 points. So I would probably choose points and rebounds. It looks like it's 26.5 here this evening. I would say he can get to 27. He got to 35 the other night without Jared Allen.
So what you're saying is first half over. I get you, Vino. No problem. All right, let's look at this one. Let's take a look here. One more time, though. The Knicks are going to be who the contrarian gods are backing. They're not buying the Cleveland Cavs here at home, laying 3.5. But we do have an intriguing big matchup here tonight, a featured matchup here where we're going to head to Minnesota, where the Lakers and the Timberwolves are going to be battling here tonight. And we've got now, 2.5 we're seeing with the Lakers. 232.5 is what we are seeing for the total. Looks like Anthony Davis probable. LeBron still questionable, but I would imagine he's good to go. Anthony Edwards probable, but Cat is looking like questionable, but there are some reports thinking that he's a go as well. If he's not, that would explain why this number has moved about a point and a half. So what are you thinking here, Andy? Big matchup out in the West, Lakers, Timberwolves. Anybody in particular you're honing in on?
I think LeBron James saying he found the LeBron James of feet doctors is still one of the funniest things I've heard in a while. I laugh so hard. I mean, the flex, the ego you have to have, and the confidence in yourself to call yourself the greatest and then say that you're the greatest because you found the greatest foot doctor is just an all-time. I love him.
So true.
Great.
Look
That's
at
so
that.
good.
Oh, very nice. Yeah, all right. That's
man.
it. That
I
is
love
some
it,
doctor. God damn. That's a weed doctor, isn't it? Look at that. Is that the foot doctor or the weed doctor?
You want pillow mint?
Oh my god. So I love guys who have egos the size of Texas, and I love guys that complain a lot. So give me Rudy Gobert over 11.5 rebounds. He's gone over this total in 4 straight. He's gone over 6 out of 7. He's played the Lakers twice this season. One time he played him without Anthony Davis. He had 21 rebounds. One time he played him with Anthony Davis, and he still had 14 rebounds. So he's actually been a pretty good bet on for me. Rudy Gobert has normally been my nemesis in the player props, but I've cashed him several times. So give me Rudy Gobert over 11.5 rebounds. They're going to need him inside against Anthony Davis tonight. So as long as he stays out of foul trouble, he'll get over.
All right, the rudimentary Gobert is what we're hearing here tonight, focusing in on him for Andy Lang. All right, I'm just going to say it, all right, Vino? You can do with this what you want, but I believe our good friends in the chat room are telling us that a Mr. Scott Foster might be at this game here tonight. So he's going to be calling the game. Good news, bad news for the Lakers. What are you doing this one here, Vino?
Well, probably good news for the over if Scott Foster is involved. We'll see plenty of trips to the foul line for sure, and maybe some extra technicals to get that thing up and over. Can we put that picture of the weed doctor back up so I can talk to him directly? That was priceless.
That is outstanding. I ain't letting that motherfucker do.
Yeah. Oh my God. That is one of the best, boy. And we've had some good graphics on this show, but that's one of the best. Yeah. I'm going to look toward the Lakers side here, Joe. A couple of things. We talk all the time. First home game off of a road trip. That's the situation Minnesota's in. They played the 3 games out west. They played extremely hard in those games. And now they come back home. And this line could be going up because there's a bit of a flu bug running through that locker room. Started with Taurean Prince, and I think that's why you see a lot of probable, questionable, a bunch of sick guys for Minnesota here tonight. I don't know what kind of effort. Everybody can't beat MJ and run out there with a 104 temperature and score 50 points. So I think the Timberwolves' first home game back, fade. Fact that they have a bunch of guys with some flu-like symptoms, another bit of a fade. And the fact that LA is trying to stack wins here to put themselves in a position where they can get a play-in game at home and maybe even into an actual playoff spot because the West is so tight that every time one team wins, another team loses, these standings change. So for Los Angeles, nice game the other night against Chicago, did what they had to do. They were up big at half, wind up winning that game, and the Bulls were red hot. You could say the same thing about Minnesota. They've been hot as well. But I just don't like the situation for them. Like it much better for the Lakers here. There's a little bit of continuity brewing with the Lakers. I wouldn't be mad at anybody, playing first half or full game. Choice is yours. But I do think Lakers are probably the right side. You might want to get this thing now because it seems to just be running away. This line ticks up about 0.5 point every 30 minutes.
Yeah, and, I saw Cat was probable earlier this morning. Now he's listed as questionable, so maybe the assumption is, Merrill, that they're going to have to do it without the big man at home here tonight as the Laker money still continues to come in. But, hey, Lakers on the road, both of these teams, it's pretty important. A W would go a long way for both of them. What do you think we're going to get?
Yeah, remember Anthony Davis, as you said, probable foot injury as well. So both LeBron and Anthony Davis benefiting from the foot doctor, I would assume. And
yes,
only thing I know for sure is that doctor in that picture at least definitely makes house calls. That's all I'll say. I'll leave it at that.
Yeah,
he makes house calls.
Housekeeping.
And housekeeping. He leaves mint on pillow. He's also changing his location on a daily basis, which always was a little shady. Now it's starting to make sense. But yeah, so this game is interesting because the Lakers could have qualified as a "That's My Dog" segment earlier today, but like Rob said, they've gone from +1 pick them now to -2.5 across the board. Scott Foster is definitely something I wanted to mention because he reffed the Laker game last week on Wednesday, March 22nd, and if you recall, that was against the Suns. 229. The total landed 233. LA had 46 free throw attempts. The Suns had 20, and that was the difference in that game. 31 foul calls against the Suns. So you got to figure the NBA would like to get Anthony Davis and LeBron James into the postseason. I'm sure Scott Foster reads that memo closer than anybody. So very difficult for me to fade either the Lakers or the over with him reffing tonight.
Yeah, no, it's kind of changes it here a little bit, but it should be a good one tonight. Lakers taking on Minnesota. Scott Foster. Game is going to take 6 hours, so pack a lunch. That should be a lot of fun. Ain't nothing quick about that. No pitch clock in that game with him. But we do have a game we want to focus on the total with here tonight for our overtime segment. And it's interesting, too, when you look at this one as the Atlanta Hawks taking on the Brooklyn Nets. And I say that because this is going the wrong way. It's Atlanta, isn't it? I mean, look at 243, and now, well, we're down to 240 and a half. And ironically enough, I mean, we have seen the market completely blow up the Atlanta Hawks totals here as of late. The problem is they're on a 5-2 run to the under in the last 7 games, which tells me the market has completely blown this out of control. We know they're not going to play any defense, which is great, but the market seems to be reversing course here, Andy, and dropping this one here to the 240 mark. With that kind of number, either way, we've got to have some prop bets in this one, don't we?
Yeah, and I will just go back to Spencer Dinwiddie, who has just been really, really good to me and my bankroll. So, I mean, first off, you start off with the Hawks. Over the last 10 games, are the 6th worst defensively rated team. So, there's going to be some points. And what I've been doing is playing Spencer Dinwiddie over his rebounds and assists, but the books have kind of caught on to that one. So it's a really great price. Take a look at Spencer Dinwiddie to have a double-double. You can get this at around plus 130. Well, he's doing it with assists. So, we automatically think of rebounds, but, he had a horrible game against Orlando, but he came back against the Rockets and did what he, has been doing, 20 and 11. And you look at some of these games, 25 and 12 against Cleveland, 19 and 11 against Cleveland, 16-11 against OKC. He's really been the facilitator, getting all of the assists. I expect there to be a lot of points. So we get 2 offensive categories. So I would expect the Nets to score a lot of points. If they do, Dinwiddie should be getting those assists. He should also be getting those points. So I would bypass the assists for Dinwiddie, and I would bypass the rebounds and assists. Just move to the double-double, getting a really, really great price.
All right. Don't hate that at all. If it ain't broke, let's not fix it here. How about it, Merrill? What are you thinking? Kind of strange to see an Atlanta game moving the opposite direction here for the total, but are you buying it here? Do you agree with the market move?
Yeah, this opened as 13 games on the board. This opened as the highest total at 243, but it's now not even the first or second highest total. As there's a couple 241s out there now, games that have gone higher, such as the Spurs-Warriors game, which ironically we did not talk about for good reason, and also the Thunder-Pacers, both at 241. So now it's just 240 and a half. One thing about Brooklyn, I mentioned this earlier, 2 totally different teams this year. This team was 32 and 20 right before February 6th, the Kyrie trade. They've gone 9 and 15, I believe, since, or 9 and 16. They're not a good offensive team anymore. They're really offensively challenged without Durant, without Kyrie, especially in the lineup. And I think that's why we've seen this line drop. Yes, Atlanta's been a pure kind of overplay in general, but asking the Brooklyn Nets in any game to get to this total is asking a lot, because if you look at their recent totals, the last 6 games, 3 of the last 6 have been 220.5 or lower. So this is almost 20 points higher than their average total the last couple of weeks. And I think that's why we've seen it drop a bit. A game I won't be involved in. I'm in no hurry to play an under an Atlanta Hawk game, like you said, Joe, but also in no hurry to play an over in a Brooklyn Nets game.
Yeah, it's Vino, what do we do here? I mean, if you had just blindly went over in Atlanta's last 5 of the last 7, you'd have gotten burned here, because they're not getting there. And now the market reverses course here a little bit. What do you think we're going to get here tonight with the Nets and the Atlanta Hawks?
Yeah, we're going to get points. The question again is just, do we get over 240, right? That's what we always ask ourselves in these instances, because that seems to be the line in the sand. And I know Dwayne Bryant at WagerTalk has had some numbers on just blindly playing these 240 totals under and coming up with some success this season. I can't. I'm with Steve. I'm in no rush to play any Atlanta Hawks game under. You put 5 guys on the other side of the floor and the Hawks defense on the other side, and those other 5 are going to score. And Mikal Bridges has been doing some scoring as of late. Andy talked about Spencer Dinwiddie. I'll add Bridges to that list. He's had a couple of 40-point games within the last 8 days or so. It might be better to look team total, Joe. I kind of feel like Atlanta, just looking at Brooklyn's defensive statistics, and I know Steve was saying that Brooklyn is not the same team, and they're not the same team defensively either anymore. And I thought they were going to be better. You know, when they made these acquisitions, these guys by name are good defenders. Dorian Finney-Smith, Spencer Dinwiddie, Mikal Bridges, but it just hasn't added up for the Brooklyn Nets as far as defense is concerned. They're on the smallish side, and that's a problem because they don't protect the rim at all. If you're looking at props, you're generally looking for the other side's rebounder to have a big night. That could be Clint Capella. But for me, if I was going to play, I'd probably look toward either first half over, or I would look toward Atlanta team total over. That number sits at 121. I think the Hawks can probably make it to 122 here in this game.
All right, good stuff there, guys. Atlanta taking on Brooklyn here. 240 and a half is what that current number is. But with a loaded slate of games here, a lot of teams not necessarily playing for a whole heck of a lot, but that doesn't mean there aren't some dogs we should be looking at here. Let's see what we got, Robert.
That's my dog. That's my dog. That's my dog. That's my dog. And anybody got to say anything, you let me know. That's my dog.
Oh man, and we got some dogs here tonight. Charlotte, Washington, Indiana, Toronto, Brooklyn, Utah. We got Minnesota there. Detroit taking on Houston. How they're both not dogs is beyond me. LA Clippers, Portland, San Antonio, and Denver rounding it out. So a lot of different places we could get the dogs barking here tonight. Andy, is there one that you circled for us here you like?
You smell that, Joe? That smells like the Pistons. That smells like the Pistons and the Rockets game.
Smells like the weed doctor is here.
Or where's Ski when you need him?
All right, so let me get this straight. 2 teams are playing each other. One of them has lost 7 in a row. The other one has lost 7 in a row. One of them is 16-22-1 against the spread for the season. The other is 17-18-3 against the spread for the season. And the books have determined that one of them should be a 6.5-point favorite over the other. No, but believe me, this is no way saying I'm a big fan of the Pistons and how they're looking these days. But 6.5 points in this game is ridiculous to say that the Rockets are 7 points better than the Detroit Pistons. These are 2 teams masquerading as NBA teams. There's no way you should lay points with the Houston Rockets. I'm not saying you should bet the Pistons. I'm just saying this line should just be a pick 'em. Just pick them. They suck. They're playing tonight. Pick them.
Wait, what? Oh, they're both getting 6.5. Oh, all right. So that's new. That's good. Outstanding. About damn time. Yeah, that's going to be a defensive clinic. All right, so let's move on. Let's get a game here that Merrill, you can actually wrap yourself around. That doesn't smell like ass. Is there a dog here though that you might be leaning towards?
Yeah, some of these games tonight smell like the foot doctor and the weed doctor had a child combined. I can only imagine what that would smell like. This is actually an interesting game to talk about because on the surface, let me just give you the setup here. First of all, you just play at Milwaukee and beat them by 41 points, the best team in the league. And then you have a look ahead at Philadelphia, who you're only up by a couple games in the division. That's the Boston Celtics. It's the ultimate sandwich spot. And then on top of that, this is your only home game in between all those road games. The problem, though, and the reason I'm a little lukewarm on this one is that they do have 3 days off after this. Because let's keep in mind, 2 games yesterday. There's only 2 games tomorrow. Big card Sunday. No games Monday because of the NCAA finals. So I'm afraid the Celtics might take this game serious. But then again, you look at the injury report. They've got everybody listed as questionable. So I'll take a roll with the Utah Jazz plus 10. They don't have to win the game outright. They can keep it close. And one thing I know about Boston, because they bit me a couple of times in the last month, they're not afraid to blow big double-digit leads. So big win at Milwaukee. Look ahead at Philly. Maybe not playing everybody. I think the Jazz could be a live dog tonight, especially at plus 10.
All right. Well, don't hate it at all there. The spot calls for it. What are you thinking, Vino? We've got a dog here that might be barking for you tonight?
Yeah, I tell you, the conspiracy theorist in me really would love to play the Indiana Pacers. Because Oklahoma City holds that spot that the league probably wants Luka and Kyrie to occupy. So let's get rid of Oklahoma City. But Indiana smells too bad for me to go there. So I'll go to the Toronto Raptors against Philadelphia. One team, Joe, I've said it often on this show, that gives Joel Embiid fits is the Toronto Raptors. He doesn't like playing against them. He doesn't like the way Nick Nurse defends him. He's a little bit banged up, as we know, over the course of the last 7 days. We've heard a lot about his injury. We've heard a lot about James Harden's Achilles. Philadelphia has big games on deck as well. I think they have, Steve talked about the Boston game. I think they have Milwaukee stuffed in between that. But for the Raptors, there's 6 games left. And they're tied right now in an effort to get themselves into a home court play-in situation. Very important for Toronto to play at home. You don't want to go on the road in a play-in situation. So I think Toronto comes – they're 6-2 against the number last 8 games. So I think they come here prepared. They do, again, play Philadelphia extremely tough. I think 5 is probably a little bit too much to lay with the current status of the 76ers, who were really on the ropes the other night at home against Dallas, but Dallas just isn't good enough at this point in time to close things out. I think Toronto probably is. They're physical enough. So give me the Raptors plus 5 here against Philly.
All right, Toronto plus the 5 against Philly here tonight. And that, of course, brings us to best bet time here, Robert. All right, you guys know how this works. We throw 60 seconds on the clock. You can do whatever the hell you want with it. Just make sure you give us a best bet somewhere in between. Andy Lang, remind the good folks what you got going on at WagerTalk and drop us a best bet here.
Really busy weekend. We've got 5% women's college basketball play that goes off tonight. So I encourage everyone to go get that one. We are plus 118 units on the season. And we cashed the one on Monday. So looking forward to that. Attached to that play is all of our NBA and NHL plays. We got a 5% soccer play going off tomorrow. Formula One race. And just get ready for Masters Week. It's one of my favorite weeks. We do so good in golf. Betting on the majors. We came off of a 14-unit week last week. So golf season's been fantastic for us. So the next 10 days looking to be really good. My best bet's pretty simple. Portland Trail Blazers under 107.5 on their team total. They've sat, they're tanking. They've sat everybody. The last 2 games, they've scored 80 and 90 points. So really, really struggling to get over that vaunted 91-point total. This is just a really bad offensive team. Sacramento should roll tonight. Take the team total under for Portland.
All right. Portland team total under here tonight for Andy. Merrill, how about you, man? Where are you going for a best bet here tonight?
Huge card this weekend with the NCAA Final Four. I've got best bets in both games for Saturday. A perfect 4-0 sweep in the Elite Eight last weekend on all the games. Also, MLB is here, number 1 the last 3 years in MLB totals. And don't forget about the NBA, number 1 ranked in 2023. I've got a strong best bet for Friday night in the NBA, a steamroller blowout. Also, both of those college basketball best bets for Saturday. Also, my Fade the Public Final Four edition is up here on WagerTalk TV. And also a baseball season preview with the rule changes and play on teams is still available as well here on WagerTalk TV. Let's look at a free NBA play tonight. We're going to look at a quick revenge situation with the Memphis Grizzlies -5. Little shorthanded the other night. They actually went off as a home dog, lost that game against the Clippers by 9, but actually had a 13-point lead despite being shorthanded. I think they get the revenge tonight, and Westbrook had 36 points for the Clippers. He's not playing that well this evening. There was also a big 3-point difference as the Clippers made 11 more threes, 33 points plus from the 3-point range. Good bounce back spot for the Grizzlies, -5 at 8 Eastern tonight on Friday.
Boom! Look for him to get it rolling here in that one. And Rob Vino, 60 seconds, my man. Tell us, where are we looking on the board here tonight?
Well, let's go back to one of the games that we covered, Joe, and it's going to be the Lakers and Minnesota. I just think the situation screams for the Lakers here. You know, talked earlier about how you want to fade teams that are coming home off of extended road trips. Minnesota's wasn't necessarily extended, only 3 games, but it was out west, and it was their 6th road in 7 games. Their scheduling was funny. 3-game road trip, come home and play an isolated game, go back out west, play 3 hard-fought games. Every game was well contested into the last couple minutes. And now come back home, face the Lakers, a team that's, I would say right now, peaking a little bit. D'Angelo Russell back in the lineup. Big win over the Chicago Bulls the other night for the Lakers, a team attempting to stack wins. Of course, we've gone through the Scott Foster aspect of this. But I think the Lakers are the right side anyway. I still think there's wiggle room here at 2.5. Minnesota's been playing well, but I just don't like the situation they're in tonight. Give me Lakers -2.5 over the T-Wolves.
All right. Boom, getting it done here, guys. One more time. Let's recap it for you here tonight as Andy Lang's dog. Whoo! Detroit taking the 6.5. Why? Well, because they're playing Houston. Enough said there. Best bet though, Portland, the team total under 107.5 here tonight. Portland going to be lucky to get to 90. Steve Merrill, he liking Utah in a terrible scheduling spot here for the Celtics. He'll take the 10, but Memphis will be his best bet at home in a bounce back spot there after getting beat up by the Clippers just a couple of days ago. And Vino, well, Toronto is his dog. They do nothing but give Embiid and company fits. He expects that again here tonight, so he'll take the 5, but his best bet is going to be LeBron and Anthony Davis and company handling business against the Minnesota Timberwolves. The contrarian gods, well, they're looking at the Knicks tonight, and they are going to take the 3.5 against the Cleveland Cavaliers. All 3 of these guys told you if you head over to WagerTalk.com, visit their pages. Best bets, guys, up and available right now. It is a monster weekend. And Andy just told you he's got a 5% best bet in March Madness for the women tonight. Those numbers speak for themselves, guys. You can pick that up over at his page. Merrill, too. Plenty of MLB action coming up this weekend. Rob Vino, XFL also ready to roll. There is no reason not to make this one hell of a profitable start to the month of April here, guys, as we're rolling on through here. Visit Andy Lang, visit Steve Merrill, and visit Rob Vino. Get those 3-day, 7-day, or 30-day all-access packages secured, and then we'll be off and running. Monster weekend, guys. Even bigger final closeout to the NBA season next week as we get ready for the playoffs. Of course, we'll be back another full week here of games, and we'll do our very best to see if we can't continue to cash these tickets as the NBA season rolls on. Until then, though, on behalf of Andy, Rob, and Steve, shout out to all you guys in the chat room. Thank you so very much for hanging with us here this week. Have a very profitable weekend. Come back and join us again on Monday. We'll do it all over again. Best of luck with your plays, guys. We'll talk to you on Monday. Good luck.
If you love $9 Monday and $2 Tuesday, you're really going to appreciate our new Throwback Thursday when all daily packages are slashed in half. Yes, you heard right. At both WagerTalk.com and SportsMemo.com, all Thursday daily packages are now 50% off. This means that a 4% package will be only $12.50. A 5% top-rated play, normally priced at $35, will be only $17.50. And the hottest sales item of the day, get a full day of access from the handicappers of your choice. That's one day of every applicable play they release, including any 5% best bets, normally priced at $39, for only $19.50. The best part is you can come back every Thursday to take advantage of this limited time 50% off spring offer.